Not just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. Dalai Lama. Think about that for a moment. One thought. Not a dramatic change. Not a miracle. Not a perfect morning routine or productivity hack. Just one quiet, honest, positive thought. Before the noise begins, before the rush, before the world tells you who you should be, that's all it takes to shift everything. We often underestimate how powerful the first voice in our head is, because that voice becomes the tone of the day. And that tone can shape how we treat others, how we carry our pain, how we respond to stress, and even how much hope we allow ourselves to feel. So what if tomorrow morning, before the phone, before the news, before the emails, you whispered one good thought to yourself? What if that one thought became the seed of a better day? It's not about lying to yourself. It's about offering your mind a moment of light before the shadows come in. And sometimes that's enough. Just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. At first glance, it might sound too simple, maybe even too soft for a world that feels so heavy. Because let's be honest, most mornings don't feel peaceful. You wake up tired. There's pressure, noise, responsibility. Your brain starts running before your feet hit the ground. And then come the thoughts. I'm already late. There's so much to do. I don't feel like myself. I can't handle this today. We don't mean to think that way. It just happens. And slowly, those first few thoughts begin to shape the rest of the day. They color everything. Your energy, your attitude, your decisions. But the Dalai Lama isn't telling us to fake it. He's not saying, be blindly optimistic. He's saying, you have the power to plant one good seed, even in a tired heart. And sometimes that single seed is all it takes to shift your inner weather. Think about it. Today I will protect my peace. I've survived hard things before. I will be gentle with myself. Something beautiful could still happen today. These are not fantasies. They are gentle anchors, soft reminders that even when life feels out of control, your mind doesn't have to be. One small thought can't fix everything, but it can give your heart a better direction. And that is a powerful start. How do you start your mornings? Be honest. Most people open their eyes and instantly feel behind. Behind on time. Behind on life. Behind on happiness. The day begins and their mind is already racing. What did I forget? What do I need to fix? What will go wrong today? And just like that, stress becomes the lens for the next 12 hours. But imagine this. Before the phone, before the emails, before the worries, you sit still, you breathe, and you offer yourself one small, quiet, positive thought. In the middle of grief, you wake up and remember what's missing. That person, that future, that version of your life. Instead of drowning in the ache right away, whisper to yourself, today I give myself permission to heal slowly. It won't remove the grief, but it softens the edge. It creates space for breath, for grace, for gentleness. In the middle of pressure, your to-do list is already shouting at you. You feel like a failure before the coffee's even ready. Pause. Say, I will do one thing at a time, and that will be enough for today. That thought doesn't ignore reality. It grounds you in it. It helps you show up with calm instead of chaos. After heartbreak or betrayal, You wake up with that heaviness in your chest. Another day without them. Another morning of wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. Try this. I am hurting, but I am healing too. It's not a lie. It's a lifeline. In depression or emotional fatigue, when nothing seems to matter, when you feel empty or lost, when even brushing your teeth feels like a battle, you don't need big thoughts, just a small one. I got up today, and that's enough for now. That's not weakness. That's resilience in its quietest form. You see, the power of one small positive thought isn't about ignoring reality. It's about giving yourself one reason to stay present, to breathe more gently, to take the next step, without shame, without pressure, without fear. And that one thought, it becomes a seed, and with time, it grows into something beautiful. A calmer mind, a stronger heart, a lighter day. Her name was Daniela. She was 54, recently divorced after a 28-year marriage that ended not with a fight, but with silence, with years of growing apart, until there was nothing left to save. The house was quiet now, too quiet. She'd wake up at 6:15 out of habit, boil water for two, and then remember, she was alone. Again, there were no tears anymore, just that numb heaviness in the chest, that feeling that no one was waiting for her, no one needed her, and honestly, she didn't know what she was needed for either. Until one morning, Daniela sat on the edge of the bed, hands resting on her knees, staring at the floor. It had been 4 months since the papers were signed, 3 weeks since her daughter stopped calling as often, and 2 days since she realized she hadn't spoken to anyone out loud. That morning, something different happened. She whispered to herself, almost without thinking, "Maybe I can still become someone new." It wasn't loud, it wasn't revolutionary, but it was something. That small thought, so soft, so unsure, felt like a tiny flame in the cold. It didn't fix anything, but it gave her just enough light to move. That day, Daniela made coffee only for herself and sat by the window. She listened to the birds. She noticed how the light hit the table. And when a neighbor walked by with their dog, she smiled. It wasn't forced, it wasn't dramatic, but it was real. The next day, she wrote that same thought on a sticky note. Maybe I can still become someone new. She stuck it to her bathroom mirror. It stayed there for months, and every morning, before brushing her teeth, she'd look at it. And little by little, the thought began to take root. Daniela didn't become someone else overnight, but she started painting again. She signed up for a yoga class. She laughed, really laughed, for the first time in a long time when her granddaughter visited. And eventually one morning, she woke up and whispered something new. I like who I'm becoming. It all started with one small, quiet, positive thought, just like the Dalai Lama said. There's something sacred about the first thought of your day. It arrives before the world speaks, before the pressure, before the roles you have to play. And that thought, whether it's kind or cruel, hopeful or heavy, becomes the compass that silently guides your next steps. The Dalai Lama reminded us of something beautifully simple. Just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. And he's right, because one thought can become one action. One action becomes one choice, and that choice shapes how you treat yourself, how you show up, how you breathe through the mess. You don't need perfect mornings. You don't need big promises. You don't need to feel inspired all the time. You just need a soft beginning, a whisper to your own soul. Today, I choose peace. Today, I will not rush my healing. Today, I will give myself grace. Today, I will notice something beautiful. And that's enough. Let this be your gentle reminder. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are simply becoming. And every morning, you get another chance, not to fix everything, but to start again with one small thought. If this message found you on a hard day, or on a quiet morning where you just needed a small light, I hope it gave you one thing, a reason to begin gently. I'd love to know, what is one small positive thought you could give yourself tomorrow morning? Share it in the comments. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if someone you love has been struggling lately, with sadness, with stress, with silent pain, send them this video. Let them know they're not alone. That healing doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it starts with a whisper. And if you'd like to keep walking this path of inner peace, wisdom, and emotional clarity, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Not just for more videos, but to be reminded again and again that your soul deserves quiet mornings, kind thoughts, and gentle beginnings. You don't have to change everything. You just have to begin with one thought.